Hello and welcome to another PrettyWebz tutorial. In this video we're going to discuss creating color palettes. Now I know choosing color may seem insignificant, but the color you choose for your brand plays an important role in the story you share with your customers and clients. Color can set the tone for how they relate to you and your products. You're telling more than your own story. You're also guiding your customers and clients through their own journey. Color is part of that story. Your job is to inspire. There is a subconscious message you send by color choice and how you use color in your branding. So today I'm going to walk you through some resources from around the web and show you how to apply them to your branding to make sure that your colors are evoking the right emotions and sending the message you intend. This process can be summed up in 4 steps. Number 1, you'll determine the emotion and the story you want your colors to represent. Number 2, you'll choose the best shade of your primary color once you have it. Number 3, you'll choose accent colors based on your primary color. And number 4, you'll make a color palette. Now, once you have a color palette, that is going to be your best friend in anything that you design on the web, on your website, social media. It's really important to put a lot of attention and thought into what that color palette is going to be for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first website I want to show you that will help you figure out the message and the story that you want to send out with your color is colormeanings.com. Colormeanings.com is just as the name implies. It's a website that tells you what colors mean, the emotions that they evoke, and it'll give you a good understanding of what colors you should use on your website. So if you're looking for a color, like for example, red represents power, energy, passion, desire, speed, strength. So there's a whole bunch of different emotions and messages and stories that come from the color red, just as yellow has its own emotions and stories as well. But you can pick any of these colors and say you want to use a shade of orange, maybe like a gold color. Really what you do is come in, click through here, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of specifics on this one color, but more importantly it gives you shades here of this color. So if you are using a dark orange, it can mean deceit and lack of confidence. It's probably not the best color choice for your brand and your story. But a red orange leans more toward the red, which is desire, passion, pleasure. And a gold orange gives a feeling of prestige, wealth, and wisdom. So this might be a really good choice versus something like this, which is a bad choice. So this is just one reason why knowing what colors mean and how they're represented subconsciously will help you a lot with your branding. So this is colormeanings.com, and we'll go back. This website also goes into other like color symbolism, color meanings. By color meanings, I mean it goes really deeply into, if you're going into specifics of food, culture, days of the week even, you can really dive deep into color meaning. It's not really necessary to spend too much time on this. You can get a general idea of what your emotion and your story is going to be based on just primary colors. So before we go any further, I do want to go over a little bit of color theory. The most important part of color theory is probably going to be the color wheel, and this website is called colormatters.com. You can come and check out this website on your own if you would like to do that. By the way, I am going to put all of these resources into a clickable PDF that you can grab from PrettyWebz.com. If you'd like a copy of these resources, you can grab that from there. But the color wheel is a big part of color theory, and there are things like primary, secondary, all of these categories of colors. But what I wanted to speak to you specifically about was color harmony. On this website, they have 3 color picking formulas that you can use, and these come in really handy. The first one is, and please forgive me, I'm not sure that I can say this right, but analogous. Please forgive that if I butchered it. Basically, that's if you're familiar with monochrome, this is what that looks like here, but not necessarily though. It's what it means is you're choosing colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. So you can, you know, if you wanted to use this green, this yellow, and this orange, you could do that. You could use 4 colors. You could, you know, you can choose as many as you like, but as long as they're right next to each other on the color wheel, you're using this formula, the analogous formula. The second is a color scheme based on complementary colors. This I use a lot, and it's basically picking out colors that are on opposite sides of the color wheel. So if you like this orange, it goes really well with the blue, you know, or a lighter blue. I love these 2 colors together. So picking colors that are on the opposite side of the color wheel is a very good way of picking maybe a primary and an accent color. And the third one is choosing a color scheme based on nature. And here we're talking about, you know, like a jungle or a desert, or, you know, if you're looking for browns, or if you're looking for greens and bright reds. Maybe you're looking for blues, you would look at an Arctic scene or something similar to that to help you there. The next thing I want to look at is color context. Simply choosing your colors individually is one thing, but when you put your colors together, they react to each other. They have a specific relationship. The context of the color and how colors relate to each other, specifically in contrast here, because the contrast of the red and the black give our eyes a different perception of that red, just as it does here with the white and with the orange and with the blue. This is another good example of that. You're looking at a block of color here, the same color that we have here in the middle, but it's contrasted against a different colored background, and you can see the reaction that that same color has to each one of the colors that it's set against. And here's another example of that same thing. It's just one color block here, but because of the different colors that it's set against in the background, it almost gives it a gradient look. This is just the way our eyes perceive colors when they're contrasted against others, and how colors react to each other. So that's something to keep in mind as well when you're choosing your color palette. If you're using contrasting colors, understanding how your colors are going to look set against each other is going to be important. Now that we understand how to choose our colors, we understand the emotion that we're trying to evoke and the story that we're trying to tell with our colors. Hopefully now you'll have a pretty good idea of what that primary color is going to be, and you might even have a secondary color as well. So we'll come here, and this website is very handy because it has a whole bunch of colors that you can look at all at once. But in this, what we're looking at is a hue and a saturation of the color that you've chosen. So say you've chosen maybe a red color, but you're looking for a hue or a saturation that's much lighter. So if you're looking at these colors here, you're going to get a completely different emotion than you're going to get from this color. These are where these colors here are more pastel, light, airy. When you look at that same, you know, like for example this blue right here, you look at it here and it just looks like baby blue and whimsy and nice, and you look at it here and it looks more corporate, structured. So this website here can help you with choosing the saturation of the color that you want to use. Okay, another website that can help you with choosing saturation of your colors is this one. It is called 02255.com, And basically once you have the color, so say I've chosen this color, this is my primary color, what you do is you'll enter the code here for your primary color, and it's going to give you every color variation there is for this one specific color, from lightest to darkest. So this will come in very handy when you have a design and it's just not working with your primary color. Going with a shade lighter or a shade darker, as long as you stay within this one specific color, then you should be okay. Okay, the next one we're going to look at here is this Peloton.com. Now, I like this website because it takes into account these color choosing formulas that we looked at earlier in the basic color theory website. So if you're looking at something, say this is your primary color that you've chosen for your site, and here you can go into deep saturation or very light colors up into this area. Maybe kind of come out a little bit or make it more pale color, but this section right here is going to be your primary color, and then these are all accents that you can use with it. And if you've chosen a 3-color, so this is a 1-color and it's more monochromatic in nature, and you'll have the 1-color palette here. So you have your primary, and then you have your accent colors. But if you've chosen a 3-color, maybe, and this is the colors that are right next to each other, and it's based on this 1-color choice. It's given you this, it's given you a yellow and a purple. So, and then it gives you the color palette right here, and then you can just kind of go through choosing different colors. You can bring up the saturation and get a great variation of color that's going to go well together. So then this is opposite color wheel. So in this example, it's put together purple, orange, and blue, which do look really well together. And you can take up saturation, bring it down to get the color that you're looking for. And then playing with this a little bit will give you more variations on those accents within each primary color that you're using. And then this is a 4-color option. This Peloton.com is really going to be more for your accent colors if you already have your base color, and maybe it'll help you also pick out secondary colors, but this right here is very helpful as well for your accent colors. Okay, so once you have your color palette, you're happy with it, you can go ahead and download or copy all of the color codes for this. You can share the palette with yourself, email it to yourself, copy the codes, however you want to do that. It's just a matter of copying the color codes and making sure that you have a set color palette. So if you're wondering how you could use this color palette on your website, so I'm going to grab this color code right here, copy it, and I have another website here. This one is called material.io. This is a great resource for user interface. So we've got a primary color here that I just chose, and that is not my secondary. Let's see, let me pick another one of these. I'll go with this. Copy. And it's actually very similar to what was already there, but so what this website does is if you're building your own website, say you're using like a Beaver Builder or something like that, and you're not sure what your header color should be, what your text colors should be, accents and things like that. This will give you a good guide as to where to put what color. So right here, for example, we've got a header that's a darker purple and then a lighter purple, and then we've got sub items down here that are an even lighter purple. We've got accents here that are the orange color, another accent here with that orange color, buttons in the orange color, more accents, dark orange, light orange. So this will give you a bit of a guide on how to use the color palette that you've chosen on your website. It'll come in very handy for you if you are building your own website with a builder, or if you're using a theme on WordPress or something like that, and it gives you a lot of freedom to customize all of this stuff. This will help out a lot with that. Okay, so now that we've got everything cleared up, we have all the resources that we need to find out the story and the emotions that we want to send out to our readers and to our customers and clients. We've chosen our primary colors, we've chosen our secondary colors and our accent colors, and we have a specific color palette. There are a few things that I want you to keep in mind. I have a list of 6. Number 1, choose your primary color most often. So make sure that whatever color, all of your colors, you have your primary, your secondary, your accents, and then the color variations of each of those, but you will have one primary color. Make sure that you're trying to use that as much as possible and above every other color. Number 2, use your accent colors you can use your accent colors for buttons, icons, lines. If you're doing a featured image, you can use it for dividing lines and accents on your design. Number 3, your color palettes won't look good in every circumstance. In this case, use a lighter or darker shade of your color. So that was this website that I showed you earlier, the 0 to 255. If this is your primary color and it's just not working, pick a different color, lighter or darker of that, but make sure that it is always in that same tone. Number 4, stay consistent. Your color palette is your best friend. So once you've chosen a color palette, make sure that those are the only colors that get used on your website, on anything that goes on your social media, and anything that goes out to represent your business. So keep that color palette handy in any circumstance where you're designing anything. Number 5, black, white, and gray are colors that you can use anywhere. So if we'll go back to this UI design here, if you notice they have white here, they're using black on the text, they're using white on the text here at the bottom, and they've got black here. Then they've got some gray right here. These are 3 colors that you can use interchangeably in any design. If you have a 4-color design, you can still add a black, white, or gray to anything, and it will go with your color palette. So if you need those colors, definitely use them sparingly, and if you're using black, try to use a lighter shade of black. Don't go to the deepest saturation on black, especially on the web. Try to keep it a little bit lighter and almost off black or dark gray. And number 6, and the most important, is readability. Readability is your primary focus. So if you're choosing between color and readability, readability definitely comes first. You need to make sure that your message gets across before any pretty color. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to head over to the blog at PrettyWebz.com to pick up that clickable resource list that I mentioned earlier. You can pick up a whole bunch of free graphics and resources there as well. So I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.